All right, in this video I'm going to show you how to go from expressions that have rational exponents, which is this, to radicals, which radicals are what most students refer to as, oh, the square root thingy. So I'm going to show you how to go from exponents, rational exponents, to radicals, and radicals back to exponents, vice versa. So the big thing here is, whenever you're taking, say, the square root of 49. Notice this is inside that 49. That's still the base, the 49. The idea we're working with is what is the power on this root? And even though it's not written, this is a square root. So meaning, usually when it's a square, we're dealing with 2. But the 2 is not always written. So if I'm taking the square root of 49, that's the same as in a rational exponent form as 49 to the 1/2 power. Another example is if we have, say, 18 in our root, and we're taking the third root of it. So instead of it being blank, it's not a square root, it's the third root. Well, the base is 18, so the base over here is still going to be 18. But the thing is, if you're going to take the third root of something, that's like taking it to the 1/3 power. The big and key piece going back and forth here is whatever you want your root to be. So if it's 2 or 3, the connection between the root on your radical and your exponents is, notice how there's a 2 here, the denominator is a 2. There's a 3 here, the denominator is a 3. The denominator of these fractions is always the whatever root you have, the second root, the third root, so on and so forth. So let's kind of show you how that all connects with everything we're doing here. So we have 5 to the 4/3 power. So the first thing is we're going to have a 5 inside of our radical. The thing is we have to figure out what is the power on this radical going to be. Notice how you have a 3 on bottom there. Again, the connection with the bottom is the bottom number is always the power on your root. The denominator is a 3, power of 3. Denominator is 2, second root. So the denominator is a 3 here, so we have the third root of 5. So then the question becomes, well, what happens with that 4, that top number? Well, that top number is just going to stay outside. So that's like if we ignored everything, that's like 5 to the 4th power. Well, everything to the 4th power. So the top number stays on the outside. The bottom number goes to the root. Another example, 6 to the 3/4 power. So inside of my radical, I'm going to still have 6. Now I need to figure out what root is this radical. So the denominator there of that fraction is 4. So we're going to put a 4 here. Only thing left to do is figure out where that 3 goes, and that's going to go on the outside. Again, for the visual people, the 4 on bottom, 4 is the power. The 3 is up top. So I'm going to go backwards this time. I'm going to go from our radicals back to exponents. So we have the 4th root of 3, and all that is squared. So first thing I'm going to do is notice my base here. The number inside is 3, so I'm going to still keep 3 as my base. Now I just need to figure out what is the exponent going to be. Well, this is the 4th root. Remember, the root is going to be the denominator, so we're going to have a 4 there. 4th root, denominator is 4. So now we just have to figure out where does that 2 go. Well, that's going to go on top. Now this one is a little bit special. There is some simplifying you can do here. So notice my fraction is 2 divided by 4. That is the same as 1/2. Another example here, we have square root of 7 all to the power of 3. Now this one is a little bit tricky because a lot of people forget, well, there's no number there. Remember, this is a square root. And when you have a square root, typically means there's a square there, even though that might be a little bit hard to see. I wrote in my 2 there. So I have a 7 inside, so I'm going to have a base of 7. Just have to figure out what is my exponent. So it's the second root, so I'm going to put a 2 on bottom. The root is the denominator. So that 3 is going to be on top. So this is the same as 7 to the 3/2 power. And that is converting between radicals and exponents.